We're very excited to have Darren Morgan in the Designerati podcast studio from Designer Kitchen by Morgan. Now, you've been awake since 3:30 this morning, haven't you? So we are very lucky to have you awake.
Yes, absolutely. I have to say, I've been around the show from early this morning, and I'm starting to find the batteries just starting to ebb a little bit. But yeah, there's some great stands here. People have put a lot of effort into their exhibits, and you can see that. Yeah, the industry's back. It's good to see it back.
But you are making a big splash in the design industry. Tell me about your work specifically.
Well, I'm working in the KBB sector for over 22 years, and yeah, in that time, I've been lucky enough to work with some amazing clients. A lot of our work's very, very bespoke. In fact, it's all bespoke. We do every type of interior, so it's not just kitchens, it's bedrooms, bathrooms, everything. We do full house fit outs for people. It's all very design driven. At the core of the business, at the very, very start, I always felt that, design is fundamental to what we do. Things are always designed twice, once intellectually in your mind, and then it manifests into reality, into the product. So I think the KBB sector has, I suppose, it could be argued, may have undervalued design in the past. That is now changing. You can just see, even looking around the stands here, the CAD design stands are very, very busy. People are putting a focus on design. So we've always done that. That's the ethos behind what we do. It's driven by design. We want to do things differently. We've no standardised product. So literally, if you come to see me, we start with a blank page and we evolve your design from that. Now, that comes with its own issues, because when you're designing true bespoke furniture, it's heavily detailed. There's a lot of information required, and I suppose there's a lot of imagination needed. Sometimes we get great input as well from the clients who kind of come to us because they know that it's design driven from the start. And they're looking for something that little bit different. So we kind of feed off the clients, start with a blank page and evolve the design really to fit their needs and really create something special. Because look, people don't buy kitchens every day. In your lifetime you may buy 4 or 5 kitchens. People don't know it's an educational pathway for them as well when they get involved with a designer. So that's what we do. We're based over in Northern Ireland. For our fit-out company, we kind of service mostly Ireland, so that would be the Republic, plus then Northern Ireland. And yeah, we're up and going almost 12 years now. I'm working in the industry 22 years.
How did you get in the industry?
Well, that's a story. Again, the industry traditionally would not have had an educational pathway for KBB design. That's when I started. Things have changed now, thankfully. But I was actually working as the accountant for a kitchen company. And one day, there was no one in the showroom. And I had to go out and speak to the clients, kind of wing it. But I was told before I went out, make sure to pick a door, a handle and a worktop. And that's the depth of training I received. But what actually happened, Melissa, was it was an accidental finding of passion. I really, really loved it. Self-educated, all about design. I was involved with the SBID. Lots of different things came my way. And I suppose, look, if you're really passionate about something, it comes to the fore. People can see passion, and that drives a business forward. So it came a point where I was working before where it was no longer about design. And at that time when we started our business, we were heading into the last recession, the real big drop. So other showrooms were closing, and I decided to open my own showroom. I say showroom, I didn't even have a showroom. I had an office, I had a laptop, 6 sample doors, and passion and a belief that I would do it. Other people, and still is the case within the industry, would not charge for design. From the day I opened the door, I charged for design, and it was a business decision in terms of how to finance the business, but also I believe there's a value to good quality design. If something is free, it's effectively worthless. So that really catapulted us then into a niche market where people are prepared to get involved with the designer, put their heads together, invest in the process, both financially and with their time. And when everyone particularly when there's a financial investment, the focus is very, very driven, and it generates amazing results. So that's the history of where I've got to date. Recently though, and this opportunity kind of came from being approached by other companies to get involved in projects. So what it is, I have my retail business, which is Designer Kitchen by Morgan, but it is born of quality design. So over time, other companies, larger companies, have asked me to get involved in specific projects. At the start, I said no, but what I've started to do is get involved, and it's amazing. Collaboration can deliver fantastic results. So over lockdown, I built a website, darrenmorgandesign.com, and now we're working with property developers, we're working with other kitchen companies. I'm talking to a company in Canada, and what it is, it puts design first. And like, there's a lot of businesses out there, like you look around here, and the KBB show is amazing. There's so many products, but the products need designed, and all of the people here want to bring all of this information together and deliver something special for their clients. In order to do that, they need quality design services. So that's what I now provide to the industry, and it's absolutely flying. There's people there who really want to look for the new SP. Businesses have needs, just like people. You know, they need to evolve, they need to stay ahead of the competition, they need to push the boundaries, and ultimately they need something special to entice customers through the door. So showrooms can have ranges of furniture, but why can't they have ranges of design levels, like high quality CGI presentations that may not be already available in the studio, maybe that little bit extra in terms of design acumen, that you're not really investing in any training, you know, full-time employment. You have a design service that can be switched on and off. You know, it's a remote service, it's pay and go. So it's something really different. It's something that the industry, I think, needs, because listen, as I said at the start, design sort of is the spark that ignites the flame of product and sales and sort of keeps the industry buoyant.
And I want to know about your spark. Before we went live with this podcast chat, we were sat with Colin Wong, who you had annoyed because you pipped him at the post at an award ceremony with one of your fish tank designs. And we were talking about the mind and how it comes up with design inspiration, and you shared with me that you have a dark mind, as I do as well. I think outside the box. I think things that people don't like to say, and I like to say them. Tell me a little bit about your inspiration behind your designs.
Well, the inspiration can come from anywhere. It can be a shape that you would see. It's it mostly comes from people, to be honest. You know, because everyone's different. They have different priorities. Some people could be very family orientated. Some people could be very social. And what I find is, look, when I started design as a blank page, you know, it's not my kitchen I'm designing. I'm designing somebody else's future space, and that's why we invest so much time and effort, both in Designer Kitchen by Morgan and also Darren Morgan Design, to evolve CGI presentations that are photorealistic, because that allows people to see into the future effectively. They can see what they're going to have delivered, they can imagine themselves using that space, and it becomes a very easy process. But inspiration can come from anything. You joke, I have a troubled mind. I do have a troubled mind. My wife thinks I should make things in my life much easier for myself, because sometimes thinking of these things, you can design them in CGI and they make them look pretty, and then you have to figure out how they're going to be made, because everything's bespoke. And the process that we go through in both my retail business, which is Designer Kitchen by Morgan, and then the consultancy business, it's bringing the process from the imagination, the creation of something different, right through to a set of production drawings that someone on a workbench can interpret and understand. So I'd say ultimately it comes from individual clients and what they need and what they're hoping to achieve.
So you're very client focused. Can you give an example of a piece of design that you've implemented that you have been most proud of?
The next one. You know, the next project is going to be the best because it's an evolutionary process. You know, it's something that constant. It's almost like a hunger that drives you forward. You're looking to create something different, something evolutionary. Like, you could easily sit back and just churn out the same stuff all the time. I'm not interested in that. That does not get me up every day. I'm talking to clients now in Canada, different clients in England and Ireland as well, who are just interested in tapping into that design focus in order to manipulate that and integrate it into their business, in order to get the new USP that's beyond the product. So what you find there is that, like, every business would need different things. You know, they could have different levels of service and everything. You know, so yeah, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick.
Well, who inspires you in the industry, and who does not inspire you?
Whoa. That's a heavy question. Who inspires me? I have to say Mark Wilkinson would have always inspired me.
Why?
He was a true craftsman. He pondered over detail. He was artisan in his approach. And you know what? You just got that sense of legacy from him from way back. You know, he's a big loss to the industry. But I still admire his furniture. And funny, the style, we do all styles of furniture, both contemporary, industrial, but traditional sort of in-frame painted furniture is kind of my bread and butter as well. So, you know, Mark Wilkinson set the bar very high in the work that he achieved and some of the furniture he created. So, yeah. And who, I can't say that there's anyone that doesn't really inspire me. Was that what the question was? I'm just going to avoid that one.
You're going to avoid? I do not. Take the fifth on that one. What frustrates you about this industry, and what would you like to change? If you had carte blanche, can change anything about this industry, what would you do?
Well, you know what? It's all about the design for me, and I think the industry has for too long faltered on putting design first. Like, there's so many businesses out there who are caught in a world where they're not charging for design. It's an absolute no-brainer. You know, if you have clients coming through the door, they're asking for a service. You know, give them a service. Have them invest in the service. Let them get the most out of it. I think that's the biggest problem within our industry, is the lack of companies being confident enough to charge for design. Because what will happen is, if you charge for design, the consumer will then elevate their opinion of you, because obviously they're thinking, well, the guy down the road, he's doing it for free, so obviously maybe it's not just worth as much as this guy who's charging me X amount of pounds. Like, some of the best businesses in the KBB sector at the moment are actually charging, and they're gaining great respect on the ground from their clients. I have always charged for design. I think there's great value to it. It allows me to remain focused, and you touched on the idea of where does the inspiration come. If someone pays me to do a job, I'm fully engaged, I'm devoted to what they're looking to achieve, and we always deliver fantastic results. And that's what I'm bringing with my consultancy business now to the industry, an opportunity for businesses to have another option in their toolbox. They can pick different products, different furniture, different appliances, different levels of pricing and structure within their business. But why not have an option for a pay-and-go design service that will actually give you the option? Like, if you have a special client that comes through the door, they're looking for something better presentations, better involvement, more detail, you know, would it not be good to have an option that you can turn to and you can just switch it on and off when you need it? Absolutely.
Darren Morgan, flying the flag for adding value and knowing your value. Thank you so much for your time today in the Designerati podcast studio. Keep smashing it and winning at life. Thank you, Darren.